who's got to win. Alex said earlier, I need to scroll up to find it, but I want to make sure I read it out loud here because it's pretty amazing. I think it said, after 15 investors I outsourced business for, not quite sure what that part means, but he said, I started investing. I think you're saying you're doing the work for somebody else. I started investing myself with REI SIF and Ready Mode, made a 300K spread in 90 days so far. That's freaking insane, Alex.
Oh,
What is so? Can you give me yeah? It's like share a little bit more for me.
yeah. First of all, hi guys, Alex, and it's actually my first time joining one of these meetings. I've always been a huge data geek, but I've been like following the YouTube videos, always being a little bit late. But I've been in this business for like 3 years now. The first couple of years, I'm from Egypt, so I've been basically outsourcing business for investors in the US and getting them cold callers, the systems, getting them acquisition managers, dispo managers, and my entire team is actually from Egypt. And we basically, I started doing businesses with agencies, working as a client success, head of data department, went like left and right. And then I started my own agency. Like I did business with like 14 to 16 investors, big and small time investors. And then one of my like the last investor I partnered with, it was like, why aren't you doing this yourself? And like a light bulb just like it lit up in my head. It was like, if I can do business for everyone, why am I not getting the big bucks and I'm just like letting all that profit go to somewhere next, like someone else. So I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. I pulled out of the agency, I sold it out completely, and I put all the funds into a small time investor, and he was just starting out. And it was exactly what I needed. I needed someone to start small with, someone like to show him around the business and basically prove what I can do for him and like go 50-50 on with him. And that has what I've been doing for like the last 6 to 7 months. We started with a team of two cold callers, one acquisition, one dispo, and we were doing business only in Indiana. And then we went to Texas, we went to Florida, Ohio, North Carolina. We pretty much like we spread ourselves like too thin at some point that we started not to lose money, but like make less of a profit. And then we shifted all of our focus into Indiana and Ohio, mainly FTM records, evictions, probates, foreclosures, and also utilizing PropStream, but super niching down. Like instead of pulling a list of 50,000 vacants, we'd only pull 10,000, but we would literally dial them over and over and over again using REI Sift to basically monthly filter out the data, keep track of everything. And with the API key going with ready mode, it's been like an absolute blast, honestly. We've made 300K spread in around 100 days. And like literally like almost 600K in failed leads, like contracts that either went ghosted or they backed out or we failed. But if we did it right, if I was following the complete like set from REI Sift, I would have definitely made like at least 600K.
Dude, that's awesome. So you basically partnered with this US based person in order to, because you need someone in the US to be able to sign the contracts and stuff like that. So you partnered with this person and said, hey, I'll run all the ops side. You handle the signing the contracts and stuff, or what's that partnership look like? Because I'm curious how, because I've heard of this, like people, out of country working with US based people to be able to kind of make something like this happen.
So he's actually like a brilliant acquisition manager.
Okay.
He's still pretty young of age, but he has like the sales mindset. We learned pretty fast. We were just doing wholesale at the beginning, and then we started doing novation and like fix and flips, holding and different stuff. And he was like, basically, why don't you join me? Like, put in all your effort here with me. And that was my plan in the first, like at the very beginning. And I was like, all right, let's do it. I'll pull out the business. I'll close the agency. You handle the acquisition part. I'll get a dispo side, the data side, the callers, the entire operation. And basically we go 50-50 on it. And he was like, yep, that's a plan. And that's like what we've been doing so far. Like we started dialing today with 4 agents. We got like 6 leads so far. I've been dialing for like 2 hours, just 2 hours. And they're all pretty qualified leads. We don't let it like a bad lead pass or something like that. Out of every 12 to 13 qualified leads, we get like a contract. And with FTM records, out of every like 5 probates, we get a deal. Like out of every qualified probate deals, we definitely get a deal out of it. And yeah, it's It's honestly not that big of a deal as everyone thinks. I think it's just like a data game. And like you have to plan it out right. Like you can spread yourself too thin the right way and it would definitely pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love it, dude. I appreciate you sharing that information and just I mean, you're 100% right in the sense that like what I love about what REI SIF is as a platform is it allows you to go and find the money or go to the money rather than waiting for the money to come to you, right? You can literally if you're updating your data, the money you literally I could tell you like that's a deal. If you can get a hold of that person like and they're wanting to sell, like that's a deal. If you can convince them to sell, is the obviously the part that's up to you. But like no one else is getting a hold of that person, I can kind of assure you. So doing a lot of the just and it's funny to me too because like it's so easy to get like integrated of just uploading your data, integrating with a platform, and then just start updating your data. But so many people find it to be very difficult for some reason. And I think a lot of it stems in like not a tooling problem. I was having a conversation, I forget who it was over the weekend, texting back and forth. And we were talking about filters for lead management. Oh, it was Q. We are talking about like filters for lead management. And they're like, man, I need to see it. I'm like, dude, yeah, you know how many freaking videos I have? I literally just did 3-part series, like an hour each, covering this exact thing. He's like, where are the videos at? I'm like, Facebook. You liked them. You literally liked them. Like I'm on the post. You liked the freaking post, right? And but you didn't watch it. But you want to text me asking me where they're located. It's like there's so much information out there, but it's not that it's not that it's a tooling confusion problem. I think the confusion stems in not understanding where your end goal is trying to be and what it is you're actually trying to achieve from a perspective, and this creates the fog in the mind to not be able to break through to understand how to make it happen. What do I filter by and how do I piece it all together? And so our initiative has always been to give a direction on what is it that you need to actually be doing so that you can build that fundamental understanding of how to and what filters can I make to make that be come into reality. Because once people start, if they get to the point where they're integrated and the data is coming back and forth, now like, okay, well, I have the information, I just don't know what to do with it now. And so I think simplifying it is a really big part of it, and then just being consistent. But, dude, Alex, I appreciate the information there, and congrats to making that decision to switch out of the agency and just like start getting more of the bread because that's important.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And like just one last thing that like literally made my entire life different in wholesaling. There's a video with I think an investor called Kara. She is like she does like she uses REI Sift with you guys and she said something that lit up my mind. She said like why do I have 300,000 records and out of them like I have like let's say John 123 Main Street and he appears in 10 lists and I'm not like heavily like targeting that guy. And
Yeah.
that's where like the entire thing comes from. Like it's not about the amount of data, it's how you use it. Once you just like know the motivation, know what like converts, and it takes time, you're gonna fail out a lot. But once you know what exactly converts and what your company needs to do when it comes to targeted leads, it's gonna be like literally butter from there.
100%. Like this is, dude, like, and here's the hard part with this too is people think that they have to go get all of the data when they do this. Like, okay, so it means the more lists that I have, the more successful I'm going to be in targeting those people. And that's not necessarily true either. See, like, I'm reverbing through somewhere. I just don't know where. It's not popping up anyone's mic. I'm going to mute all really fast. Okay. So a lot of people think that you need to get more data, more data, more data, different lists and everything else. And then so what they end up doing is they go to like PropStreamer or these other sources where it allows you to pull multiple different lists all at once, and they pull it all in, and they think that that's going to be the solution then for them, which isn't necessarily wrong. But here's the problem with that is these people that have like 17 fucking problems is going to be a problem, right? So more problems does not necessarily mean more money. Even though that, we love to say the same more money, more problems. It doesn't really work the other way around all the time. What it creates is a pain in the ass. So if you want consistency, meaning deals every single month, you really need a core of three problems. Okay. You want a core of at least three problems that you become really good at. And so that would be core problem one. Um, Jaime. You need like probate. That's a core problem. Tax delinquency. That's a core problem. Foreclosures. That's a core problem. These are things that happen all the time that are core problems. After you have your core problem, this is something that comes in consistently that you're solving. You understand the use cases. It's something you can continue to build. Um, you then start watching for core problems to have conversion opportunity. Okay. And so probates that are absentee owners, meaning probates where the PR doesn't live in the property. Okay. And it's vacant. Okay. Now we have three different identifiers and it's in my core problem and so I want to hyper focus on that person. So let me look at all my probate data and dig deeper into that. And so anyway, I just think it's important for you to understand that more stack does not necessarily equate to more money. If I have a data set, my data set, right, and I see that I have like these 50 properties that have like seven different lists on them, yeah, I'm gonna send them mail and do something, but because I want to know who nobody's reaching on those, and there is definitely a way to make money from those deals, buying the deed. There's tons of stuff, tons and tons of stuff. Okay. But I can't like consistently close deals from that unless I'm really good at making deals happen, right? Unless I'm really good at deal structuring and all these things. And that's a skill set that takes time. So instead, you got to focus on bringing in a core data set that are one of those a core problem and get really good at marketing and generating customer response. Okay. Meaning I'm getting correct numbers. I'm talking to homeowners. Once I do that and I get that, it's just a matter of increasing the amount of records that I'm bringing in. Okay. So if right now you're bringing in 30 probates every single week in your market and you're talking to sellers, okay, and you're looking to scale, then increase the amount of probates by adding in another county, okay, and then increase it again and continue to bring in more probates of your core problem or add in another core problem. And because it may mean that in order for you to get a deal every single month in your market, you may need 60 a week. Okay. But it's not saying there isn't deals in the 30. It's just that in order to get the conversion rate that you're looking for, it may need to be 60 because you don't quite have the skill set or the team to dig into the core problem plus the additional, multipliers effectively, right? You may only have you and maybe another VA, and in that case, like you can only really handle getting through the data, in its cycle. Adding in direct mail is obviously a really good way to have that extra VA, aka the piece of paper going to the mailbox to get another conversion and letting them know that you exist, and then they go to your website, yada yada. But it is really important to understand that more data, more problems does not equal more money. You can create bigger deals, yes, if you know how to have the acquisitions and the processes and stuff like that, but it's not created equal. Okay. All right, cool. More wins and losses.